Peace to all the divine primordial deities. Now, if you are not privy to this information, I suggest just keep it scrolling. I am not here for the dead, I am only here for the awakened. If it resonate, let it marinate. If it don't apply, let it fly. Now let's get deep. The first Hermetic principle is all is mind and mind is all. Why? It's because everything happens in the mind. Now let's talk about the Halls of Amenti, which is the ultimate halls of mirrors. The locus coeruleus, which is the black dot, is the uppermost center of pigmentation in the brain, which is a doorway that opens into an all-black hall of blackness, neuromelanin, which is called the amenta, which is the nerve tract in the brain and in the spine. The amenta nerve tract is the Halls of Amenti, and that is neuromelanin. The Egyptian word for the hidden world is called the Amentet, sometimes rendered as the Amenta, and that word literally means the hidden realms, or the unseen land. The Egyptian word for Amen means hidden. The god Amen, or Amen-Ra, is in fact the hidden god, or the unseen god. Amen-Ra, which is the black dot, is your soul, none other than the hidden god, which is your Buddha, or what they call the Christ. Some of the ancients describe the Amenta as the spirit world, which is none other than the real world, and some of them even described it as being dream time. And the reason why is because sleep is melanin, because at night, your pineal gland produces more melatonin at night than in the daytime, and your neuromelanin and melatonin requires darkness. So when you sleep and you dream, that's pure melanin. And when you dream, you get a chance to experience the real world. Because this matrix that we live in is what you call the illusionary world. The hidden world exists within. And what you are seeing is none other than a mirror of the real world that you are projecting outwardly. Now, I know that this is going to be a deep concept for many to grasp, but the reality that you are seeing is none other than a mirror of what they call the hidden world that exists within you. Everything that you see in this reality is coming from within. There is nothing outside of you. It's all being projected from the inside outwardly. That's why it is called the Halls of Amenti, which is the ultimate halls of mirrors. The world that you are projecting is what you call the illusionary world, because it's a projection of the real world, and it's not the real world. It is an illusion. Now, Amenta is represented in Egypt mythology as the land of the dead, which is the earthly world that we exist on today. And that is called the Matrix, which is Maya, which Maya means illusion. Based off of the Halls of Amenti, is letting you know clearly that the earth that we call earth is not earth. It is what you call a dimension, which is a pocket in time and space. It's not an earth. It is an illusionary realm that you is projecting outwardly, which is what we are calling the Matrix. This is why we have portals everywhere, because the only way to get in and out of this illusionary realm is you got to get out either through a starship or through stargates. And the only thing that can escape this realm is light, which means you have to elevate and transform yourself into your light being, because that's the only thing that can escape this matrix. We are in a prism. What that sound like? A prison, which is what they call the spectrum of light. This realm was designed from the beginning to create light code lockdown, because it is a prism, and we're talking false light here. This is why in the Matrix, Morpheus told Neo, in that white room, he said, you are born into a prison that you cannot taste, touch, feel, or see. This is why we must rebel against everything that they have taught us, even against the so-called living gods, which is what you call the illusionary gods, because they are not the real gods. It's the hidden God, which is you, is the real God. Now, in the movie The Matrix, they put it out there as clear as day. Y'all remember how Neo was plugged into the Matrix and how he was being used as a battery and the machines was running everything? That is exactly what's happening right now. He was inside a pod, but his consciousness was being projected into the illusionary realm, which is the matrix. That is exactly what's happening to us. And I know for a fact that we are somewhere else and we are not here. So since you are not in your real body, you are your ka. And when you go to sleep and you dream dreams within your dream, your soul is what travels to other dimensions, which is the real world. That is astral projecting. Because keep in mind, this is a projection of you. This is not the real you, but it's you. It's your ka. Because you are in the in-between. You are in a comatose state right now. You are in between the dead and the living. So when they say this is one big ass dream, basically it is. Because it's not the real world. It's the illusionary world. I remember that song, roll, roll, roll your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Facts. That's why you have to wake up and resurrect God, which is the hitting one, and get out of here. And knowledge is the key when it deals with the Halls of Amenti, because the only thing that can transcend the matrix, which is time, is consciousness. And the only thing that can escape the matrix is light body. Osiris is the god of the underworld. That's us, the god of the perfect black. Osiris represented a fractured consciousness. And this is why we have to heal and awaken to get out of the duet. Now keep in mind what neo meant. Neo means neocortex, which is the brain. Remember, all is mind and mind is all. Now, the Mandela has nothing to do with CERN, and I'm going to tell you why. The Mandela effect has everything to do with ascension and us elevating spiritually. Because when your consciousness change, your perception change. And when your perception changes, that means your reality changes. See, what might affect you might not affect them. What they remember, you might not remember. Why? Is because you're elevating and you're jumping realities. See, consciousness can do that. And what's happening is, even though we might occupy the same space, these realms are separated by frequencies and vibrations, which means that even though we are in the same space with these people, we are literally in different worlds based off frequencies and vibrations, simultaneously existing at the same time. And as we continually to elevate, our perception is going to continually to change, which means that we have the power to change our reality around us, and it's going to keep changing. It's going to keep changing as you increase spiritually. You might wake up one day and might not see a whole race of people. Why? It's because they're no longer on that frequency. You done jumped to a whole nother different frequency, which means you done jumped to a whole nother different reality, and now they don't exist, which is what's actually happening. It's going to be a lot of people just disappearing. Why? It's because our perceptions is changing. We are elevating spiritually, and the gods that is here, we're controlling all of this. So collectively, as the gods, we are the ones that's creating this. Mandela effect. And a lot of these beings don't exist in the higher realms. They only exist in the illusionary world. They don't exist in the real world. Which means as we begin to elevate and our consciousness shift, which means our perception is changing, which means that as our perception changes, our reality changes, which means that they're going to no longer exist eventually. Now, I drew this out to give you guys a visual on what I'm talking about. The omega point is the only real reality. Everything else under the omega point is what you call the illusionary world, which is the matrix. None of this is real. The only thing that is real is the omega point, because once you ascend past the omega point, you exit about the matrix and understand the only thing that can exit out of here is light. But as you elevate, you transform into your light being.